All right, and then for Oil City Roller Derby, we have number 0, Moskwa, number 6, Sneak Attack, 09, Roxy Balboa, 10, Blood Gin, 12, Yabby, 1234, Troublesome, 14, Pee-wee, 1979, London Brawling, 21, Harleyson, 2222, Double Shot, 286, Clancy John, 30 is Push Push Pass.
I'll try those.
314, Loki, 33, Isa Hotbrod, 8008, Vulcan Death Trip, 73, Mad Piper. Then on our bench we have Sour Cherry, Clumsy Lover.
All right, as we are starting in here, just waiting to get started as we're counting down the clock, 40 seconds to Derby. This is going to be a mixed gender game. We've had a couple of those already this weekend, and they have been splendid games to watch. They have been a very exciting, hard-hitting, never-quit game. It's been a lot of fun to watch. What do you think there, Jazz?
I think it's been great. They've had a very mixed range of talent and playing different games on the track at the same time. So it's been a challenge for them, but they've really been pulling out some great strategy and some great plays.
It's also been really fun to watch as you said, the different game styles on the track and how they're playing based on who they're up against and what pairing they have. And I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be, I believe, a very, very good and exciting game.
So our Oil City Roller Derby was founded in 2005. It was the first flat track roller derby league in Canada. They're Edmonton's only mixed gender roller derby team, and they pride themselves on inclusiveness, striving to make all members feel empowered, respect, and supported.
And the ccrd Natural Born Thrillers in the past 7 years of flat track fever. Chinook City Roller Derby has fielded women's and men's teams, so they are very excited this year to play their mixed gender team. Natural Born Thrillers is a team who provides game opportunities to all benchmarked members of the league with a focus on fun and inclusion. They love skating with old friends and new leagues and are always happy to mix teams for a balanced and enjoyable game. And I believe that is exactly what we're going to see here tonight. As we set up for our next game, looks like we're going to have Sneak Attack lining up here, and Mr. Twist, but it's a little bit of confusion before the game starts here. Well, of course, for all of you at home, this is going to be a lot of fun. As we've mentioned, this is the 8th annual Flat Track Fever. This year a WFTDA sponsored event, or sanctioned event, sorry, which means we've been watching some very well done and a lot of fun WFTDA games. As well this weekend, we've seen this mixed gender bracket as well as our Alberta women's bracket. And none of this is possible without our co-hosts, the Calgary Roller Derby and Chinook City Roller Derby. As it looks like we're going to start here now. Mr. Twist set up to go against Sneak Attack. So Sneak Attack out first, has lead jammer as there's some work around between the first and second corners. Now it looks like Mr. Twist is going to get through, but with the helmet cover off, Sneak Attack's going to get around and grab those 4 points and call that one down. So lining up now, we're going to have Sparkette wearing the star 4. the team in the black jerseys, that's Natural Born Thrillers. And for the near-death oddities, that's going to be Pee Wee. Sparkette's going to get through first for lead. A couple penalties being issued. Oh, we're going to have a power jam already, as it looks like Pee Wee is headed to the penalty box.
Looks like that was for a cut track.
So cut track call there. That's going to give Sparkette the chance here as they do some fancy footwork around. That's going to pick up 4 points. Of course, with that power jam, the jammer in the box for 30 seconds. No chance to score any points for the oddities as Sparkette's going to try and rack him up. Getting past Zombrie, looking to get some couple more as they're going to get 4 more and call that one down. Of course, with this now starting this way, we're going to have Pee Wee remaining in the box. We're going to start with a power jam for the Natural Born Thrillers as Rice Ball is going to take this one away. Jazz, just how important is a power jam start right off the hop like that?
Power jam start is really important. It gives a chance for your blockers to form up and give you a little bit of and that is exactly what they did. Rice Ball is through on his initial pass and is coming back up. Pee Wee's through his initial pass and coming around hoping to score some more points.
Rice Ball going up against number 3-0 push pass there, able to get through. Going to grab 4 points before that one is whistled down to a conclusion. And now lining up Mr. Twist once more for the Natural Born Thrillers, and 286 for the near-death oddities. That's Clancy John.
And Mr. Twist makes it out of his initial pass and gets lead jam.
And it looks like they're going to get another power jam as Clancy John has been sent to the box. That's 2 jams in a row now where the near-death oddities are going to be short of jammers. There's a bit of a collision there. Mr. Twist just about falling over top of, looks like Harley Sin, but is going to get through and grab 4 points before they put their hands to their hips and call that one to a conclusion. So we're going 2 jams in a row here, Jazz, with power starts. How much of a play does that do to the mentality of your opposing team, knowing that they're now a second jam in a row short the jammer?
It's pretty defeating to that opposing team that has the jammers in the box. They've really got to pull their penalties and get the beginning jitters out.
So Dodger Ball's lined up with the star for the Natural Born Thrillers. Big hit coming around that second corner. Going to be forced back around as now Clancy John has left the penalty box and is back on. Pack all scrummed together. And look at that as a change of events. Clancy John is going to get out first through the pack and take lead jam. And just as Dodger Balls was catching up to cause a little bit of commotion, Clancy's going to just end that one, keeping it scoreless on that jam. So with that now, we're standing 16 for the Natural Born Thrillers, 4 for the near-death oddities. We're going to do an immediate skate back, try and get the release through. Oh, and it looks like there was a penalty issued. I did not see that. Dodger Ball sent to the penalty box at the end of that last one. So that does mean that Sneak Attack starts this one with the power jam. as well as lead, and now grabbing those first 4 points.
Dodger Balls is back out on the track, looking to complete his initial pass.
Scrum there is a Natural Born Thrillers forced to the outside and recycling around. But on the track, Dodger Balls is going to get through. I believe that's just the initial pass now. Sneak Attack is going to roll through and grab another 4 before getting that one called off. So with that now, one jam really able to bring 8 points on it. Near Death Oddities closing it in, 12 points. Natural Born Thrillers at 16.
And on the line we have Sparky for the Natural Born Thrillers jamming against Pee-wee for the Near Death Oddities.
And it looks like we're having a little bit of a talk here as I think they might be trying to figure some scoring out now.
Looks like the Natural Born Thrillers have actually called a timeout. Nope, it's an official review.
Yeah, it looks like we might have an official review starting now already. Of course, I'm not sure how much of this you can see on your screen.
Is looking for an official review on a no call of a cut on corner 1-2.
Okay, so there we go. Black call looking for a no call cut penalty. Hoping to maybe change that points situation a little bit. Quite entertaining again with Sparkette there. Down on the ground.
Upon official review, the no call will stand. Only one hand was out, not 2.
And there we go. We hear from our head referee. Our call on the official review is going to stay as was. No call being issued. Pee-wee and Sparkette lined up as they start their jam. Pee-wee trying to find space inside. Sparkette looking to the outside, stuck there by Mesqua, and there goes Pee-wee. But Sparkette is given a cut track penalty. Pee-wee now going to have the power jam opportunity. Pee-wee knocked down in that second corner, trying to find a way through that formidable wall of Natural Born Thrillers blockers, but able to find that path. That's going to be 4 points up on the board for the red jersey Near Death Oddities.
That's one thing with Pee-wee. If you give him a little bit of room, he can run through very quickly on that inside or outside line.
Exactly as we just saw there, as Pee-wee is going to get another set of 4 points, but looks like we have a penalty issued to a near-death oddity as Pee-wee's back in the tracks. Sparkette going way back, making sure they're around Matt Piper and not going to receive another cut track penalty. Not going to waste any time, though, once Sparkette is on the track. Gets a little bit of help there by number 662, Stupid Sexy Flanders. And it looks like Pee-wee's got another 4. And just fast enough that Sparkette is not going to be able to grab any for themselves. So look at that. With that now, the score having changed. Going to 24-16 now. Near Death Oddities with the lead.
We have number 789, Van Awesome, going up against number 286, who is Clancy John.
There we go, and out in front, that looks like it's going to be Van Awesome with lead jammer. Clancy John working through, but issued a penalty, and back to the box they go. That's Clancy John has received a few penalties already in this first half, and remember, you only get, I believe it's 7 jazz per game?
Yeah, it's 7, and then at your 7th, you are out of the game, and somebody else will have to finish your penalty for you from your team. So your teammates don't appreciate that too much.
No, not something we definitely want to see, and nor do the players want to be forced to deal with either, as Natural Born Thrillers jammer Van Awesom's going to call that one off after grabbing 3 points. With Clancy John still in the penalty box, that's going to allow the power start for Justice Bastard Crash. Looks like we've got a little bit of strategy planned here as the players are, the black blockers are all set to the side looking for that no pack. And semi-effective as Justice is able to get through, but a penalty issued to Dev Null now sent to the penalty box. Quick and easy through, grabs 4 points for Justice Bastard Crash as Clancy John is back on the track, but not wearing that star cover. Little bit of collision there as Clancy's stuck up against that tripod in the front. Justice catches up and is stuck in the back as well. Looks like a failure to reform penalty being issued to number 3-3. That is Isa Hotbrod going to sit down.
So an interesting fact so far in the game, we've had no jams where both teams have scored. It's always been one team or the other. I think that comes a lot from our scoring teams calling it off really quickly before that other jammer can come back around.
Yeah, they're definitely not making it easy for anybody to rack up the points. Both teams putting a lot of defensive work forward here as Sparkette takes a little bit of a trip coming out of the first corner, but does regain and gets ahead to take lead. Going to be chased down there by number 6. That's going to be Sneak Attack.
Sparkette calls it off with enthusiasm, but not before the near-death oddities could score 3 points.
Yeah, Sparkette going for a hit-it-and-quit-it style call-off there, but not working the way they wanted as it was not successful. I'm going to call it as Sparkette managed to grab 2 where the near-death oddities Sneak Attack got through for 3.
And that puts our score at 28 for the Natural Born Thrillers and 27 for the near-death oddities.
So Rice Ball jamming now for the Thrillers and Pee-wee for the oddities. Rice Ball's going to get out first, take that lead. Dev Null's going to make sure Pee-wee's way back behind that pack. Now there was a nice little jump there by Pee-wee around the first corner as they're going to get through for their initial. Rice Ball working his way through and grabbing those 4 points and then putting the hands to the hips to call that one into an end. So standing now 32 Natural Born Thrillers, near-death oddities at 27 as we roll down 17 and 3/4 minutes left going into this next jam. And we have some whistles.
Looks like we have Rice Ball in the box with the jammer panty on. So we are going to have a power jam and Clancy John is going to be starting on the line.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I missed a call at the end there what Rice Ball was sent to the box for, but that does give Clancy John a little bit of a redemption now after spending his time in the penalty box now to get the power start. Let's see what they can make of it. And the oddities are going to do well as Clancy John has made it through for lead jammer.
That was a nice little bit of offense from his blockers.
As both teams set up now, Clancy's going to look for room to the outside, gets past Super Fan, and Clancy is going to keep rolling and grab 4.
And Rice Ball has now entered the track.
Rice Ball bouncing kind of pinball there between 3-1-4. That is, where did I lose the number? Low key. Rice Ball's going to get through for an initial pass as Clancy John is working through, but going to take a big hit by Superfan and is going to be forced to move back. But that one is going to be called off.
So even with that big hit, Clancy John managed to score 3 points on that. So now we're sitting at 34 for near-death oddities and 32 for the natural-born thrillers. It's a very close game.
Yeah, it most certainly is. They're not letting this game really get ahead of anybody, as we've got Mr. Twist set up there now with the star. Going up against Sneak Attack, a whole lot of bodies piling to the floor there as Mr. Twist takes a little bit of a spill, and a penalty now issued to Sneak Attack. So Mr. Twist with the power jam. And just after that second corner, Mr. Twist does makes it through and is awarded the lead jammer status. Pack picking up a little bit of speed, headed into this second quarter. Mr. Twist goes one-on-one with one-on-one with Matt Piper there, but doesn't decide to pursue that challenge.
I don't think he was quite ready for that. I love how these players are having so much fun out there. You can see it on their faces, and it makes a great game.
You know, I'd love to, you don't see on the replays in hockey ever where two big players are going to go head-to-head and one of them smiles and then kind of dodges the other way. That is something uniquely roller derby. That's fun to watch.
It is, and it just goes to show about the culture of roller derby. It's on the track and off the track.
Yes, that it is. Now, Sneak Attack back on the track and jamming for the Thrillers, 84. Justice Bastercrash trying to get that crowd a little louder around that third corner. Sneak Attack was able to get through and complete their initial. Justice Bastercrash going to hit that pack, try and get a couple points, but call it off before Sneak Attack can catch up, and that one looks like it's going to go scoreless.
Yeah, no points scored on that one, so now we're at 36 points for the natural-born Thrillers and 34 for the near-death oddities. And it looks like we're going to have Sparkette back out on the line for the natural-born Thrillers and Pee-wee for the near-death oddities. It's a great matchup.
Yeah, it's one. Both these jammers kind of play a different game. Sparkette likes to get a little more fancy on their footwork, while Pee-wee, he just likes to give her.
He's just fast.
So Sparkette through first. Pee-wee still struggling around that first corner. Looking for a little bit of offensive help from his blockers. Sparkette, however, going to get through and grab 4. Oh, but look at this. We've had a star pass, as that is Roxy Balboa now wearing that star, jamming for the oddities.
And Sparkette, he jumped that apex right at the end, managed to score 4 points before calling it off.
So that's a 8-point jam for Sparkette as they head into this next one. With that now, score sitting 44 for the natural-born Thrillers, 34 for the near-death oddities. And we have a timeout being charged to the natural-born Thrillers.
So far in this game, with the natural-born Thrillers, they've managed to get 66% of the leads in each jam. So that's a pretty high percentage.
Yeah, that's a very high percentage. That's a very good start here. To go along with that, looking at it, we can see that the natural-born Thrillers have had 6 different power jam opportunities and capitalizing 19 points on those jams, but the near-death oddities only with 3 power jams with a 16-point spread, or 16-point gain as well. Three jam difference for power jams, but the near-death oddities not allowing a big point spread in that category.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with our blockers as well. With only a 10-point spread on the points, I think the blockers are doing a really good job of staying off those power jams.
Yeah, you can definitely see, maybe trying to rein in some of those penalties. Clancy John jamming right now for the oddities out front fast. Found some wide open prairie land there as we play here at Flat Track Fever in Calgary. Getting chased down by Dodger balls, and a good little high five there as the two of them go skating off the track.
So that jam was a pointless jam. They decided to call it off before anybody could score any points.
And remember, 1 point is 1 point, and in a close game like this, holding a team either to 0 points or just a couple points is going to make a big difference. And same goes for only grabbing 1 or 2 points and calling it off. You can chew a lot of game away by 2 or 3 points in a jam. Looks like we got a official timeout here. And lined up right now, getting ready for the next one. It seems we're going to have Justice Bastercrash going up against Sneak Attack. Justice Bastercrash, out of 3 jams, has lead twice, and Sneak Attack only been able to grab lead twice, so that's a 40% rate for them. However, Sneak Attack is responsible for more points for their team with 11 right now, just as Bastercrash coming in with 7 points. So after that official timeout, 0-0 Dodger Balls of the Natural Born Thrillers has been ejected from the game due to forceful contact with a ref between jams. Of course, that is a absolute no-go. The safety of the refs being absolutely paramount in the sport of roller derby, as in most sports, right? So it looks like Sneak Attack's going to get through first and grab that lead jam as number 84 serves in the penalty box. That is Justice Bastercrash. I'm going to guess Justice is in there serving for the penalty that should have been on Dodger Balls from the end of that last period.
Yeah, if he's gone from the game, somebody has to serve his time. So number 84 is the lucky player.
Back on the track, Justice Bastercrash looking to get through, but runs right into the back of Rocky Balboa as Sneak Attack's going to get through and grab 4 more points. Ooh, big hits there.
Roxy definitely has some big hits, and she's quick on bringing them back as well.
Yeah, Roxy's a lot of fun to watch. Both being able to stand and either take or deliver that hit with devastating results, and as you said, being so fast.
Well, it looked good. Sneak Attack thought he got around on the outside line, but he didn't. That's a cut track, and he's gone to the box to serve his time.
That is unfortunate now, as that's going to be a power jam for Justice Bastercrash. There was a spill there as Justice Bastercrash goes outside again. Oh, Dev Null with a big hit to, I think that was Blood Gin, knocking her out before they could reset. Now, I didn't see the penalty there, but one being issued to number 1-2, Yabby.
And Sneak Attack is back on the track.
Justice Bastercrash making it around with the 4 points scored. And racking up another for Justice Bastercrash as Dev Null is headed to the penalty box.
So what do you think about all that heavy hitting that seems to have come out in the last 2 jams here?
Yeah, they're really lighting it up and making sure that they're playing physical now. And that was something up till this point has kind of been missing compared to some of the other mixed gender games we've watched both yesterday and today. They were both high-hitting affairs, and this one's been a little more, let's call it, I don't want to say skillful play, but
strategic.
Yeah, there we go. More strategic play. And now we're seeing them really not scrap the strategy, but maybe adding more of that forceful play in.
I think they're just amping up their muscle. And in order to, I guess, eat the souls of some of these jammers, there's going to have to be some big hits from the blockers. And it does seem to be working a little bit. They're not as brave to take those outside or inside lines. They're taking the center of the track
Red
a little more often.
Team is looking for a back block penalty be called on the jammer in the last jam, Black 8-4.
Okay, so we're looking for a back block call against 8-4 jammer. And as we wait on the review there, I'm really enjoying this little this gathering here as Sparkette, Pee-wee, and Low-Key have all joined on this jammer line. Sparkette and Pee-wee just having a little chill, just, relaxing.
Yeah, probably soaking up a little bit of the chill from the floor in here, and looks like they're ready to have a picnic. And now they're joined by Mr. Twist. So
Officials have reviewed the action with eyes on. We noticed that it was not to the back of the blocker. No penalty will issue. The no call stands, and their official review will not be retained for the first half.
So there we go. The official review being called there. They will not win the review. They do not believe the officials that any back block was involved. As we see everybody get up off the jammer line as a bench staff member there, Clumsy Lover, kind of wanders through, giving everybody that sideways look. So Sparkette and Pee-wee lined up, and the action is back on. Sparkette's going to find that opening again on the inside as Pee-wee finds a way through as well.
both round in the track, and it looks like the blockers have decided to speed up that pack.
Yeah, that they have. They're definitely not wasting any time. Little bit of a trip up there. Yabby out of the penalty box. Sparkette looking to get a few points and call it off before Pee-wee can catch up, and we'll call it successful. 2 points scored for Sparkette there before it's called off.
So the red team, which is our near-death oddities, they have not gone 4 jams without a jammer penalty. So that might have a little bit to do with their score as well, although they're sitting at 50 points and the Natural Born Thrillers are at 54.
Yeah, that's a lot of points, or sorry, a lot of jams there with penalties. Yeah, that's not a very good stat to be running right now.
Especially being jammer penalties.
Yeah, although with that being said, I'm surprised to hear that stat and still look at that close of a game. I would expect, maybe a little more of a pull away. That shows you how well the defense is working for either team today.
Yeah, they're definitely doing a good job.
So that is number 662, Stupid Sexy Flanders, jamming for the first time out in front. As Clancy John is going to get through for their initial pass. Mad Piper dragging back. Stupid Sexy Flanders going to call that one off. But able to grab the 4 points before that does happen. So lined up now, Mr. Twist and Sneak Attack once again. These two have been fairly busy in this first half. Sneak Attack with 7 jams, Mr. Twist with 4. Both of them right now with a two leads apiece. Bit of a scrum right now as they work their way through, but it is going to be Sneak Attack that gets out first. Mr. Twist is going to find some inside room after multiplayer penalty issued to, I think that is 8008 Vulcan Death Trip. Oh, and I heard the body hit the floor. Did you see what happened there, Jazz?
I did not. I saw a jammer flying, our near-death oddities jammer slid quite a ways on the floor in the corner.
Yeah, it definitely was not a happy move, that's for sure. So that one, Natural Born Thrillers able to grab 1, take their lead to 59 over the Near Death Oddities, 54. After Sneak Attack was able to grab 4 on that one. Sparkette and Pee-wee both lined up again once more. Sparkette finds that fast route around that outside edge on the first corner. Pee-wee looks like he took the opposite as they went through the inside line.
Looks to be a little bit of a jammer race.
Yeah, and again, that pack picking the speed up as they cruise around. But that one is going to be called to an end as those jammers do give each other a high five on the way out. It's always nice to see that. I don't think that you can ever see anything better than that. All right, who do we got now? Justice Bastard Crash lined up. And that is going to be Clancy John again. I feel like we've been saying Clancy's name a lot today. That's his 8th jam this half. Matt Piper doing a little bit of offense for Clancy John, working the inside line, but not able to get past of Stupid Sexy Flanders. Up at the front there, Justice Bastard Crash struggling against that tripod. Matt Piper going up to anchor that one in now. And Clancy John is going to get through. Justice Bastard Crash looking Matt Piper right in the way. Going to get helped by 0-0 once more. Ooh. Big hit there as I didn't see who initiated the contact, but that looked like 0-0 Mascaw that took the big hit and tumbled down. Again, this pack is moving with speed. Of course, as I say that, they all kind of slow down here between the third and fourth corners. Oh, and it looks like we've got a attempted star pass. I'm going to call it successful. Stupid Sexy Flanders has the star in hand.
Clancy John takes a bit of a tumble on the outside line and calls it off. Near-Death Oddities picked up 7 points on that jam, and Natural Born Thrillers remain pointless. So we are now sitting at 61 for the Near-Death Oddities and 59 for the Natural Born Thrillers, with 3 minutes and 48 seconds left in the game, or the half.
You betcha, and with that one, that is a lead change now with the Near-Death Oddities taking that one. There we go. Cut track penalty issued to Mr. Twist, headed out for a little think, as Sneak Attack is going to make it through for lead jammer. Sneak Attack working hard, but stuck up there against Rice Ball for sure. Can't quite make out the other numbers at this point, but Rice Ball issued a penalty, and that's going to give Sneak Attack the route through for 4 points. Another 4 as Sneak Attack's going to make it through once more, as the penalty box is still sitting. Mr. Twist back on the track, forced back and resetting. Another 4 points by Sneak Attack. Near Death Oddities are really going to try and roll this one up here. Oh, look at that little duck move there by Sneak Attack as they're rolling these points up once more. And it looks like Mr. Twist finally able to get through for an initial pass, but that's not going to slow down Sneak Attack in any way, shape, or form, as they're going to grab another set of 4 points. Mr. Twist looking to get through. Bit of a collision there between Rice Ball and I'm not sure. Rice Ball goes to the ground. Sneak Attack takes that one through, grabs another 3. Mr. Twist able to grab 4 as well. That was a huge jam as Sneak Attack able to put up 23 points, bringing the Near Death Oddities back to the lead with 84. Natural Born Thrillers at 63.
Is that our highest scoring jam at this point?
I'm going to hazard a guess and say that it is. And upon some looking, yes, 23 points, that is the highest.
Right. That was a good jam, but now we have Sparkette going against Pee-wee for the Near Death Oddities. Sparkette has got lead jam.
Sparkette is going to make this a foot race now as the pack is doing the same thing. Push, push, pass, looking to go one-on-one with Sparkette, able to make it around those hips and calls it off. Pee-wee still going to grab one, where Sparkette's going to end that with 4.
That That was some fancy footwork. I love watching those jammers go through. Sparkette and Pee Wee really put on a show.
They do. Sparkette's a lot of fun to watch. They're very good on their toe stops. Incredibly good on their toe stops.
They are. They don't need more than an inch to get through.
No, it's amazing the amount of space that they can work with, as we now have coming up for the first time jamming Mad Piper for your near-death oddities and Rice Ball for the Thrillers. Rice Ball looking to get through. Was issued lead jammer before being knocked to the inside and forced to go back a few spaces. Mad Piper still working their way through. Looking for a little bit of a pick offensively and able to get through an initial, as Rice Ball is back in the pack and going to get around and grab his own 4 points.
These blockers in this pack are doing an amazing job of playing both offense and defense at the same time. Their strategy is right on.
Big hit there as Matt Piper ran straight into Justice Baster Crash, and Matt Piper's going to get around and grab his 4 points. Rice Ball going to grab his 4 as well before Rice Ball does call that one off, and it looks like we are headed into our intermission now with the near-death oddities leading at 89, Natural Born Thrillers 75. Natural Born Thrillers right now sitting with 16 leads on the first half, with the near-death oddities at 9. And, looking at the power points, we're very close here. 7 power jams for the Thrillers with 23 points, and then oddities only with 4 power jams, but capitalizing with a 28-point points there. That's a 5-point spread for that power. That's a big statistic not to have going your way.
That is. I think it comes down to the knowledge of the game and being able to think on the track to be able to prevent pile up of points against you when your jammer's in the box.
It is, and now with that, we're going to head into our intermission again. My name's Fat Boy, joined here with Jazzernaut. We'll talk to you in just a little better than 13 minutes. Welcome back as we get ready to start the second half of our mixed gender game here. Near Death Oddities versus the Natural Born Thrillers. Of course, the Oddities in the lead right now with 89 points. Natural Born Thrillers with 75. And let's just look at a little bit of statistics here. So with the first half done and over with, lead was granted 6 times to the Thrillers, and the Oddities received it 9 times, so that's 64% for the Thrillers, 36% for the Oddities. That works out to throughout the game with that score the way it stands right now. The Oddities actually averaging 7 points per jam for their powers and 3.3 points per jam for the Thrillers. And of course, if I have to remind you, my name being Fat Boy, once again joined alongside here with
Jazzernaut. Hello.
And we are ready and excited to get back into this game. So looking at that last half as well, we have to talk about Sneak Attack. 54 points racked up, a 23-point jam as well as a 16-point jam. Sneak Attack really putting the numbers up there for his team there, the Oddities.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job of utilizing the holes that his defense has been opening up for him. And, his offense has been opening up for him. And with those big bodies throwing some big hits, there is a lot of room for him to be jumping through.
There is. And looking on the other side of things at the Thrillers, Sparkette with the most amount of points at 24. Sparkette also with an impressive number of 86% lead rate out of 7 jams, able to take lead 6 times. That's a big Jazz as a player. You know, what kind of number does that mean? What does that give to someone like Sparkette going into this second half?
That is a huge number, and that is a huge boost to a player's, we'll say, ego. And as a jammer, you need to go out there with the confidence that you are going to rack up the points and have faith that your players are going to stop the other jammer. So he is doing a wonderful job. He's got fast feet, and he is definitely going to utilize his confidence going into the second half.
And I suppose that, as a jammer, a player that, as you've said, must have a little bit of an ego, they must also be able to have that team ideal as well, knowing that I have to score those points, but I'm not going to get anywhere if that set of blockers in front of me either doesn't open that hole for me or doesn't deal with that other jammer.
Yeah, it's all about trust, and it's all about patience. He might want to jump before that hole is opened up for him, and he's got to know that his team is going to be there when they need to be there, and that's why it's a team sport.
Yeah, I think you've really hit the nail on the head there, as 5 seconds is hollered here. Sneak attack and Mr. Twist lined up as they get ready to start into this second half. Again, this is our 8th annual Flat Track Fever. This year, a WFTDA sanctioned event here in Calgary, Alberta. Whistles blowing all over the place. What's happening here? We got lead jammer awarded to Sneak Attack.
And we had Mr. Twist. He's going to the box, so that means that Sneak Attack is going to have a power jam. He jumped the apex, landed it backwards, but unfortunately his skate was out of bounds, and he got a cut track call.
So here we stand now. Sneak Attack going to make it around Zombrie for that 4-point pickup on the power jam. And player standing in the box, Mr. Twist, getting ready to go. I didn't see who did the lick in there, but Sneak Attack with a wild hit. Getting chased down by Zombrie, and I think that's Van Awesome that was in the way as well.
Yeah, Van Awesome's had Sneak Attack's number since the last 2 passes through.
That was impressive to see, as Sneak Attack just made it through to grab those points. Mr. Twist comes out of nowhere, kind of gets wrapped up with that little hip, chest, shoulder move, and then is able to knock Sneak Attack out, forcing him to call off that jam after picking up those 8 points. I think Sneak Attack was really looking to make a lot more points there.
I think he was. He definitely did not plan on calling that off at that point in time, but when you have somebody's body who can contort around you and hold you like that, you're best to call it off.
You know, I've always found that to be a very interesting move, and showing just how strong of a core strength these players have when they can wrap a body around from the hips like that and stop a player in their tracks.
It is an amazing skill to have, and actually everybody on the track has the skill. Whether you get to show it off or not is another issue.
Pee-wee, of course, as we're talking there, was able to get out first and take lead, and on their second trip through, able to grab one when they call that one off, keeping Sparkette from grabbing any points on that one.
And that brings our score to 98 for the near-death oddities and 75 for the natural-born thrillers, with 27 minutes and 27 seconds left in the second half.
That was a lot of 27s there.
It was. I waited so the 27 came through.
Well, not 27. We're going to talk about 286. Clancy John now jamming for the oddities out in front. Facing up against with a apex jump of sorts there. That's Rice Ball.
And we've had 2 natural-born thrillers go to the box. I'm not sure what those calls were for.
So Clancy John going to make it through and grabbing 4 and calling that one off. That's going to hold Rice Ball to 0. And now I'm going to make a little bit of an assumption here, but let's go with calling this jam off like that, and still short that amount of players in the box. They're lining up their next jammer, Sneak Attack, for a little bit of an easy start. What do you think there, Jazz?
Oh, that was done on purpose. You have 2 black blockers in the box. Take advantage of it. They're going to start with 2 less on the track, and chances are you're going to get lead jam out of it.
So Sneak Attack looking to get some space through, finds a hole down the center. That's going to give Sneak Attack that lead as Mr. Twist struggling there up against
Masqua.
All right, Sneak Attack through with 4 points. Mr. Twist now playing a little bit of defensive jammer on jammer here. Or would you call that offensive? I'm going to call it defensive. Either way.
A little bit of both.
Either way, into that one, Sneak Attack is going to call that one off.
And during that jam, we actually had Mr. Piper went to the box for the near-death oddities.
Okay, so now we're going to start one short there with the red jerseys, as the Natural Born Thrillers in the black are going to start with Sparkette up there with that star cover on. Pee-wee kind of jostling, trying to find his position to start here as we see it all start. Superfan with a quick hit there to number 10, Blood Gin, trying to make some space. Sparkette's able to find it and is going to get through for lead as Pee-wee is working hard. Ooh, runs right into the side of, that was right into the side of Superfan and got laid out, but able to take a quick pickup and break through for their initial as Sparkette's going to roll through, grab 4, and then call that one down.
And that is 4 points put on the board for Natural Born Thrillers, and that is the first time they have scored in the second half. That brings their score to 106 for the near-death oddities and 79 for the Natural Born Thrillers. And on the line, we're going to have Rice Ball take on Clancy John.
Oh, a little bit of collision right off the start here as Rice Ball went down. Clancy John now down on this outside of that first corner. It looks like a rugby scrum at the front. There's nobody's really moving. Pack's starting to spread out. Rice Ball is going to find that opportunity and get out in front. Fighting through with that big tripod at the front. Clancy's having a little bit of trouble. Push, push, pass. Tapping her helmet. I'm here, I'm here. And Rice Ball with a nice jump around the apex. Going to grab 4 points. And the start pass did happen. Push, push, pass has taken it.
Rice Ball sneaks through on the inside line and calls it off before push, push, pass is able to score any points on that round.
Yeah, making sure making sure that Rice Ball with the star on his head. Called it off before push, push, pass, or was the pivot, now had the star, became the jammer. Caught up. She was definitely putting the coals to it, trying to make that break. All right, let's see if I can continue to tie my tongue a little better. What do we got lined up here now?
We have Sneak Attack against Mr. Twist on the line, and Sneak Attack is knocked down on the outside line and manages to punch through and get lead jammer status.
Yeah, that was Deb Null that came in with a nice little hip check there to Sneak Attack, knocking him over, as Mr. Twist is going to make it through for their initial pass. Sneak Attack makes a little bit of a move to get around Smarty McFly before calling that one off. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3 fingers in the air for Sneak Attack. Mr. Twist, I don't believe, able to grab any on that one. So with that now, sitting at a score of 109 for the near-death oddities, Natural Born Thrillers 87, as Sparkette lines up once more with Pee-wee. These two fairly close in jams. Sparkette with 10 jams, Pee-wee with 11. Sparkette still keeping a really good lead percentage at 78.
And Pee-wee has got lead jam, and Sparkette Had a little trouble on the outside line, and it looks like he might have a skate issue. As Pee Wee's fighting on the inside line and gets knocked out.
So, actually, that time, Pee Wee wasn't given lead jam. Sparkette had it. Pee Wee managed to get out in front far before, though, as Sparkette did take that big hit between the second and third corners. Of course, Sparkette having that little bit of a blown tire there, having some difficulties with their wheel.
I was distracted by the wheel issue.
No, that one definitely grabbed my attention, too.
Yeah, so up to this point, again, we still have only one team scoring at a time. Never both teams scoring in a jam.
Clancy John and Riceball lined up here. Riceball is going to get out in front. At this rate, Riceball looks like they might make it all the way back. Yes, he is into the pack all the way back before Clancy John made it out.
We have a panty pass.
Yes, we do, as Clancy John is wearing and passed it to 3-0. That is push pass.
Riceball giving push pass. A little bit of a run for her money there.
Riceball is, oh no, Riceball thought he made it through for that quick hit it and quit it, but unsuccessful with a back block call. That means now we now have a power jam set for the oddities as push pass continues to work their way through. Deb Null with the big hit. And there we go, push pass makes it through for 4 points. Riceball is up and back onto the track now. Push pass stuck in. Riceball with the big jump. Unsuccessful. Going to be coming back. That's 3-1-4 there low key, making sure Riceball has to move back. Push pass, struggling to work their way past Smarty McFly, but able to get through and grab 4 points once more. Riceball working around former jammer Clancy John. And the whistles blow the end of the jam. 1 more point picked up there for push pass. 4 points for Riceball.
So that was 12 points for the Natural Born Thrillers that jam, and 9 for the Near Death Oddities in total, bringing our score to 119 for the Near Death Oddities and 99 for the Natural Born Thrillers. And we have Sneak Attack going up against Mr. Twist, I believe. And that was some fancy footwork to avoid a big hit by Mr. Twist. And Sneak Attack is being kept in the back of that pack, knocked out and brought back. And Mr. Twist sails through on the inside line while the blockers are distracted with Sneak Attack.
Another big hit there as Zombre's down on the fourth corner, but able to get back up. Mr. Twist works their way through once more. Matt Piper at the front, going to try and get in their way.
The Natural Born Thrillers were able to put 12 points on the board, while the Near Death Oddities were kept at 0 for that jam.
All right, now this is going to be a first-time jam here for Superfan, going up against Pee Wee. And I'm going to point out the obvious bit of a height difference here between those two jammers as they line up together.
They're definitely going to have to adapt different styles for this.
Yeah, I don't think they're both going to try and play the same way, not with that much of a difference here.
No, I don't think that would be possible.
So it looks like we have a team timeout being charged over to the Oddities as we are sitting at about 17 minutes here.
Pull up the penalties to overlay it here.
Oh.
So looking at our penalties right now. Right now we can see that sitting fairly even across the board. Nobody too terribly far in advance worried about that 7 penalty rule quite yet. Of course, that's the near-death oddities now as we look at the thrillers. You can see right away Dev Null starting to rack them up. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 penalties. Everybody else again sitting fairly low. Two penalties. About the highest besides Dev Null as we're getting ready to roll back here. Now Pee Wee, this will be 12th jam. Of course, it has been a very entertaining game thus far, and with the Natural Born Thrillers, that is Chinook City Roller Derby League, Calgary's only co-ed roller derby league, and Natural Born Thrillers bench coach Samuel Hawk, number 403 Rice Ball, and number 911
Red
Wolf
team would
Jr.
like us to review a no call on corner 2 for a low block by the Black Jammer in the last jam.
Okay, I missed that, so we went from having a timeout now to a official review as we wait upon the results of that apparent missed penalty. Back to what I was saying, sorry. Bench coach Samuel Hawk, Rice Ball, and Wolfblade Jr. are all rostered Team Canada men's skaters for 2020.
Oil City is bringing a mix of the 2 mixed gender teams, the Space Oddities and the Near Death Oddities. So they've decided to call their team the Near Death Oddities. The Near Death Oddities played flat track under this team name in 2013. And just to note, so far our teams are 50-50 for their lead jams.
Upon official review, we've reviewed the action and we will be awarding a low block call on the Black Jammer 4-1 in the last jam. They do not retain their official review.
Okay, so we're going to have a switch up. I think that's the first official review I've seen this weekend that has gone in favor. So the Oddities...
Of course they do retain their official review.
A little bit of confusion there as our head ref is just making sure everybody is aware that they will retain their official review. But with that one, that means we will not see Superfans start the jam this time as they are issued a penalty. That means that we are going to watch Pee Wee get that power start. Looking for some offense now. Matt Piper, Roxy, and that is number 10, Blood Gin, all in there, trying to make sure that Pee Wee can break through, and he will. As everybody resets now, standing in the penalty box, Mr. Twist. Pee Wee's going to get into that pack, takes a big hit from the rear end of number 84, and forced back just as Bastacrash not going to let Pee Wee get past easy. Oh, I didn't see the call, but Pee Wee is on the outside lane, headed to the penalty box, as Mr. Twist is on the track and completed their initial pass. And Jazz, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I do believe with the lead having been awarded and penalty issued, that means we're going the full 2 minutes.
That does. You can't retain lead if you go to the box.
So as we have another minute left in this jam, Mr. Twist now going to work their way through, looking for some help. And Rocky right there, but not able. Oh, it is. It is going to get called. So Mr. Twist headed to the penalty box. Wow. It looked like there was no call made by the jam ref, but one of the outside pack refs did see and make that call. So Pee Wee back on the track, grabbing 4 points. And of course, you're only going to serve the penalty as long as the jammer previous to you. So in this case, if Pee Wee served 20, that means Mr. Twist only serves 20 as well. As a little bit of a pick play there, and Pee Wee tries to find that break, but stuck to the inside and resetting. Mr. Twist back on the track. Oh, big hit by Mad Piper. Mad Piper's going to take a forearm call for that one and head to the penalty box. As that one, 2 minutes is up and the whistles blow. That was a very interesting jam.
That was a very interesting jam. I think they decided to play smarter, not harder in that one, definitely, right until the end with those big hits.
All right, so now we can see that initial jam for Superfan, as Clancy John is out there as well, but a lot of whistles happening here. Looks like a little bit of confusion. I'm not entirely sure what the result was, but everybody back on the track now, except for, of course, Matt Piper sitting in the penalty box. And Superfan's first jam, and they're going to get out and take lead. Big smile on his face as he rolls around that fourth corner.
A lot of encouragement from the fans in here to see him on his first jam and complete his pass for 4 points. Oh.
But unfortunately, to the Cinderella story of lead jam on the first, Superfan issued a back block penalty, and now he's got to think about what he did. So that gives Clancy John, who doesn't have the star on his head anymore. Looks like it has been handed off to the pivot. That is 3-1-4 now that has the star, and of course, that means that they have the power jam, so that is Low Key now wearing the star. Okay, Low Key's looking to get back in there and try and rack up some points. Again, no lead on this one now. Oh, Low Key knocked to the inside. Little slow to get back up. Super Stupid Sexy Flanders going to make sure that Low Key's hung up, but that pack starting to spread out. Got to watch for that no pack and failure to reform call.
Superfan is back on the track and pushing Mad Piper ahead of the pack. And Piper manages to get him down. Oh, but not without a cut.
It is absolutely electric here as Mad Piper was given the illegal contact call and Superfan was able to roll through and score those points. Superfan works, finds that inside line, looking a little gassed around, but able to grab another 4 points.
And the fans are going wild.
It is absolutely electric in here as as Low Key is going to get through and grab 4 of her own points. What an entertaining jam that was. Unbelievable, what a jam that was. Holy smokes.
I love it when the crowd gets involved.
It's a lot of fun, and you know, I am by no stretch of the imagination a derby player, but I can only imagine the amount of fuel that adds to you when you're on the track.
Oh, the enthusiasm is like a boost of rocket fuel to you. It just
Red is
tells you.
having an official review of a lack of an insubordination call for the black jammer cutting short the distance to the box in the last jam.
All right, so we're looking for a potential insubordination, cutting short the distance to the...
I'm not sure. I think that means possibly that he went across the center where our referees and NSOs stand, and that will usually give you an insubordination call.
All right, well, let's wait till we hear what the call is, but I'm going to guess that is what that insubordination for is. And remember, I think we've talked about this game already, the safety being paramount of all of our skaters and NSOs in that center
The officials
area.
have reviewed the action. An insubordination call will not be issued. The no call will stand. Red no longer has any official reviews for the second half.
All right, well, maybe he went through a little bit of the center but didn't impede any of the referees and had a clear path.
So with that now, no official reviews remaining for Red, 12-14 left. Oddities 129, Natural Born Thrillers 127. Oh, that was fast. Rice Ball already out in front. Sneak Attack working his way through, getting pushed up against Rip and Ruby. Rice Ball made a quick, clean 4 points there. I don't know if anybody even saw him come through.
Yeah, he's pretty fast on taking the opportunities that are presented to him.
So Rice Ball working on the inside, runs up a couple of big blockers, tries to get a couple hips, puts his hand to his hips. Gonna count 2 for Rice Ball and hold Sneak Attack at 0 when that one is called to a conclusion. So with that, 133-129, that is going to be a score change in this second half. You know, still a very close game. 21 points only for the Natural Born Thrillers and 14 for the Near Death Oddities. Both of them getting very close in power jams now at 7 and 8 for the Oddities, but the Oddities far ahead, double the points at 40 versus Natural Born Thrillers 23. Sparkette with a huge hit to the outside.
And Pee-wee is awarded lead jam with his fast run on the inside line.
Just as Bastard Crash looking to work their way through. Sparkette's going to drag Pee-wee way back. And it's not going to work, I don't think, as well as Sparkette had hoped, as Pee-wee is going to roll through and grab 4 points. Just as Bastard Crash through for an initial now. As the pack rolls into this fourth corner. Pee-wee's yelling, speed up, speed up. Only 2 blockers on the track. Sparkette's going to be the troublemaker, but still going to get past before calling it off. But I'm not seeing any points in the air yet for that last pass for Pee-wee. Oh, there it is. So 2 more points awarded. Just as Bastard Crash not able to grab any. Okay, official review now going to the Oddities. To the Thrillers as we have a lead change again. Now the Oddities taking it at 135 to 133 for the Natural Born Thrillers. What an incredibly close jam this has been. Or sorry, not jam, game. Well, the jams have been close too, but the games have been
Black team would
incredibly
like
close.
us to perform an official review on a lack of a skating out of bounds call on the red jammer in the last jam.
So once more, waiting on the results of this next official review. So this is, I really can't believe how close this game has been.
The officials agree that the no call will stand. The jammer was straddling the line, was not out of bounds as they called it off. Black does not retain their official review.
All right, so there we go. Another official review unsuccessful. Black will lose that one as we set for the next jam. Yeah, again, I really cannot believe how close this game has been.
Yeah, they're a very evenly matched team in body size, skating skill, and their strategy knowledge. They are...
I don't know if you saw that, Jazz, but that was unbelievable. Mr. Twist started way back from the third corner before the jam, made it through untouched. Nobody even knew where they were. Oh, that was executed absolutely perfectly.
It was phenomenal. I saw him in the air. And that's about the first time I saw him is when he was in the air jumping. So
that was an absolutely perfectly executed play there by Mr. Twist. As I said, even his own blockers were on the track. I don't think they knew where they were.
No, I think they had to take a double look just to make sure that he was where he was when he landed. So, kudos.
All right, lining up now, we are going to have a rice ball going up with Sneak Attack. That was a nice move by Sneak Attack there, bouncing all the way from outside to the inside. Able just to get ahead of Rice Ball, but now it is going to be Jammer and Jammer Pack picking up speed. Sneak Attack's going to let that one roll as they put their hands to the hip and call that one to a conclusion. That was a quick foot race between the two jammers there.
That was for sure. And I think that's why they called it off so fast as well.
All right, Spark Attack and Sneak Attack again. A little bit of double duty here as Sneak Attack takes this one once more. Sparkette lined up. Right to the scrum as neither jammer gets far quick. Sparkette starts to find some room. Oh, big hit by Dev Null. Rocking outside to the inside line. Sneak Attack. Sparkette, I'm not sure what happened to them, but they lost their footing and cut track penalty to Sparkette. That's going to leave Sneak Attack out there. I didn't see, did Sparkette get lead jam before that penalty?
I'm not sure. I did not see. I guess we'll see here. Nope. We have Sneak Attack that is issued lead jam. So Sparkette must not have managed to get completely free of that pack before he went to the box.
Yeah, that's a big penalty to be called that close. Sneak Attack with a big knock down to the outside, knock down to the inside, down again. Continues to grab their footing. That was impressive, but there was a no pass on one of the players, so only 3 gathered points on that one.
Yeah, you have to be upright and on your skates in order to collect the points of the people you're passing.
So with that now, 136 for the Oddities, 137 for the Born Thrillers.
Whoa, that is a close game.
As we're coming down to a little better than 6.5 minutes.
And Mr. Twist sneaks through on the outside line, but not before Pee-wee is issued lead jam. We have a little bit of a jammer race.
And the crowd is absolutely electric as these jammers are battling it out. Pee-wee knocked down and forced that pack is just flying. Pee-wee's going to let Mr. Twist burn a little more energy off before they call it off. And the two go give each other a high five on the way back. That was something. Wow.
I like that. I really do. I love to see the jammers go at each other a little bit. At the same time, the blockers were really pushing each other around while the pack was fast.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a run hard and run fast. And Pee-wee, after getting knocked down there in that second corner, taking their time to get up and letting Mr. Twist keep going fast like that, burn a little more energy off before calling it off.
That's always a good plan when you're going up against another jammer you regularly have to beat.
Rice Ball will be our lead jammer for this one, barring any penalties, as Clancy has completed initial. Dev Null and Matt Piper, 2 big boys at the front of that third corner there set up. Matt Piper's going to go get Rice Ball. Big hit to the inside, forcing Rice Ball to cede and go back now. Power jam, though, because Clancy John is in the penalty box. Not sure what the call was, but Rice Ball now for the good opportunity to score some points with no other scorer on the other team. Again, as we get down there in time, the crowd in this stadium here at Acadia is just electric at the 8th annual Flat Track Fever, a WFTDA sanctioned event, as we watch once more Rice Ball score another 4 points.
And his bench is telling him to call it off, and that is so they can start on a power jam. Clancy has not made his way out of the box yet, so our Natural Born Thrillers are going to start on a power jam.
Yeah, that was a very good jam here for the Natural Born Thrillers. Not only allowing them to pull ahead with the points again, this gives Sparkette a really good opportunity to get on and try and get a quick lead without having a opposing jammer off the start.
He's going to have to do it fast because Clancy John is back on the track. He was only in the box for another 3 seconds.
But it's not going to work, though, because Yabby is going to make sure that Sparkette has to come back. There's a lot of penalties being signaled right now. Nobody leaving the track. Holy smokes. Okay, so Sparkette is through, but no pass, no penalty, no lead jammer. Sneak Attack is through, not given lead jam. And it looks like we're going full 2 minutes.
It does.
That was a very interesting first 30 seconds of that jam, to be totally honest with you. I'm not sure what happened, but it was chaos in that first corner as Sparkette makes it round for another 4 points. Sneak Attack struggling up against Stupid Sexy Flanders, Justice Bastacrash, but able to get around. Zombrie out there as well as Van Awesome. Sparkette takes a little bit of a tumble there, but makes it through for another 3-point pickup that time. Another no pass. Hey, we got penalties clearing and penalties heading back to the box. Sparkette runs right into the back of Clancy John, but able to get through. Oh, big hit as Sparkette goes face first, sliding on that concrete. Sneak Attack has rolled through and grabbed for another collision there. Holy smokes. Okay, so 4 more points picked up by Sparkette. Penalty issued to Sneak Attack. Sparkette now with another power jam opportunity as we're coming down to the last few seconds. Sparkette's gonna crawl out of that 4th corner and loses it again in the 1st corner, and they lay down and just, that's it, I'm done. I need a nap.
I think he's spent. I think he used up all that gas he had at the beginning.
They needed a nap after that one.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so let's tally up. What did we actually get here for a score? 19 points for Sparkette wrapped up on that one. 9 wrapped up for Sneak Attack.
And that puts us at 164 for the Natural Born Thrillers and 144 for the Near Death Oddities, with 1 minute and 55 seconds left.
That was a very, very interesting jam. Holy wow. And you know, we have seen absolutely no shortage of jams like that this weekend, of these insane, it's almost like a Three Stooges skit.
It is. The camaraderie between these teammates is amazing. And the way they can smile through it, give the big hits, take the big hits, it is the games to be watching. Yeah.
All weekend. And, you know, as with that little Three Stooges comment, the physical comedy, I'm going to call it, as you can watch Sparkette, especially very emotional, hit the floor with this big smile on their face as they get up and keep running. It's a show. There's no other way to put it.
There isn't.
Now Mr. Twist jamming with that power start for the Thrillers. As they roll through that 2nd corner, Mr. Twist forced to the back. Matt Piper set up there alongside with number 30, push pass. Again, push pass, stepping up alongside Mr. Twist, who will eventually get through for lead jammer. As there's a mass exodus, the penalty box is empty. Back on the track now, Sneak Attack. Pack is moving fast. Sneak Attack is through for their initial pass. Pack with speed, spreading apart, starting to bunch up now as Mr. Twist takes the hit from Matt Piper. Knocked to the outside, but calls that one off. Able to grab 2 more points. Sneak Attack, though, able to get in there and grab 1 as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of strategy in that last game in that corner. There was numerous plays going on, bunching up in one corner and playing to the inside and the outside. So
And lining up now, score 166 to 147. Timeout called with 37 seconds remaining on this game clock. This very well could be the last jam. And I'm very excited.
I'm very excited because it's still anybody's game.
Oh.
And with this timeout, it's a great way to give some players a bit of a breather, come out a little bit more fresh. I expect to see a lot of hitting, a lot of strategy. This is going to be a huge jam.
Yeah, this definitely is, as you know, like you said, this is anybody's game yet. And with only a 19-point spread, we've had jams. We've had exactly 19-point jams. We've also had 23-point jams. So this is more than winnable in this next 2-minute jam. Now, that means that the near-death oddities really need to get out of that gate fast and grab that lead jammer if they want to really hammer home on this one.
Yeah, they need to really be calm, strong, and coordinated. And I believe that's probably what they're all talking about, getting ready to start this off with Rice Ball as our jammer for the Natural Born Thrillers and Pee Wee for the near-death oddities. We'll see where this is going to take us. I believe it's going to take us to another timeout. Yes, the near-death oddities has called for a timeout. A little bit more time to plan. Now that they've seen the line that's going to be up against them, it's a great way to figure out what they're going to do.
They also called that timeout pretty quick at the end there, just as the jam timer was starting to get ready to whistle everything back into action. And we've seen that penalty once this weekend of not fielding the appropriate players. I don't think they wanted to get trapped into that situation.
Yeah, not a good penalty to take. And that's where your bench coaches really, really are valuable to your team.
You can't say enough about how important that role is, not only to ensure that your lines are right, your teams are right, but to make sure that everybody knows where to be, when to be there, and what to do when they get there.
And to definitely make sure that you put out a line that is going to offset the line that you're up against. Very important.
No, you really couldn't say that anymore. So with that, Pee Wee and Rice Ball, it's going to be slow start. Pee Wee's going to look for the space with a little bit of a jump, and that's going to give Pee Wee lead jam. That is exactly what they're looking for right now. This is a very good opportunity for Pee Wee to try and rack the points up and see if they can't change the way this game concludes as Pee Wee gets into the pack, takes that big hit. 3 point, oh, there's lots of whistles, lots of what's happening here. Okay, so I see a 3-point award for Pee Wee. I don't see anything added for Rice Ball.
No.
There was a timeout called at the end.
Yep.
So was the timeout called soon enough before the end of the game?
I don't think so.
Well, our jam timer is showing a timeout awarded to the oddities. It looks okay. We just got word from the officials. 2 seconds remaining on the screen clock.
Oh, wow.
That timeout came just in the nick of time here. 2 seconds. That means we've got another jam to set up.
And that's where the brains come into play. That's, I didn't know. So it's, I think that was Piper that.
You couldn't have asked for a better play to get this lined up here, as we now see the score, 16-point difference. We can see the audience, everybody starting to stand. We're looking at it. Okay, we're looking to figure out what's happening here. What's going on? A little bit of talking with refs.
That's been awesome talking with the ref there, I believe.
Oh, it looks like. Okay, I saw an insubordination sign as it looks like Sparkette is in the box. Oh, what is going on here?
It looks
'Kay.
like Pee Wee's in the box as well.
This is not good. Pee Wee in the box, wearing the star for the Near-Death Oddities. Sparkette in the box wearing the pivot stripe for the Thrillers, both of which from the last play. Rice Ball jamming for the Thrillers. Takes the quick, gets out, and that's going to give lead to Rice Ball. Rice Ball is going to call that one off, cementing that 16-point lead. I am not entirely sure what to say about that ending. That was
confusing. It was intense. There was a whole lot going on there.
That looked like Near-Death Oddities were set up to pose an excellent comeback, and unfortunately, it looks like a penalty issue to their jammer kind of sunk the ship there. But what a close game, 166 for the Natural Born Thrillers, 150 for the Near-Death Oddities, and such an exciting game to watch.
Very exciting. The crowd is already waiting at the line to shake the hands of these players.
I can't say enough for how well these teams played. What a wonderful game to watch. Thank you for all of you watching out at home, as this is our WFTDA sanctioned 8th annual Flat Track Fever. My name is Fat Boy, joined here with Jazzer Knott, and we will talk to you again soon.